So today we're going to be talking about Lars Mittank. Lars Mittank was born in 1986 on the 9th of February. He went missing in July 2014. He was 28 when he went missing. Lars Mittank went missing at the end of a holiday in very, very weird circumstances, like really strange circumstances. This case has baffles me for years. It's the first ever true crime thing I ever seen on YouTube, which is why I'm doing it. It's my first ever lump. Thought it would be nice. So Lars Mittank went missing in 2014 on the last holiday. They went to Varna, which is in Bulgaria. So they set off on holiday on the 30th of June in 2014, all excited. At the time, it was the World Cup, which is really good to laugh because he really loves football. He even spent a lot of his days on holiday playing football on the beach, traveling, going out, drinking with his friends. He decided that it was just better and it was more fun for him to play football on the beach with the locals. And holiday makers, they assume, some of them even came forward and said that Lars was really sociable and friendly, and, really enjoyed his company, as well as the vendor on the beach that was selling juice all free, was awesome with it. And he even came forward and said that, and Lars was really nice and dead friendly. So this was the beginning of the holiday, and nothing really strange or bizarre happened. It was just a normal lad's holiday. Everybody was having a nice time. And things didn't start going weird until towards the end of the holiday on the 3rd of July. So on the 3rd of July, Lars with his friends went to Mystery of Golden Sands Bar in Varna. They went there to watch the World Cup match between Costa Rica and the Netherlands at 11 o'clock at night. Lars wore a vertebrae football shirt, so Lars was wearing this football top in his bar. And there was a few Bayern football fans from this bar, and this kind of caused conflict between them. My understanding is an argument broke out, but there was no fist fighting and not actual physical contact, just a verbal argument in this bar. But it kind of been too bad or too worried for life for these friends because they did sit in that bar until 4 a.m. that night. So on that same night at 4 a.m., Lars' friends all wanted to go to McDonald's, to something to eat, to go back to the hotel and actually on a nice house. But Lars, being quite healthy and a bit more conscious about what he's eating, decided to just go straight to the hotel and meet his friends there. And there was no issues with that. It was like, yeah, it's not too far away. We'll meet you there. So according to Lars, on the way to his hotel, he got into an altercation, an actual fist fight with some people that he believes were hired or paid by these Bayern fans in the bar that he just been to in that altercation with earlier on. And he believes that they paid these people to beat him up. He believes that the people that beat him up were Bulgarian or Russian. And she believes that these people were hired or paid by the Bayern fans that had started an altercation with Lars in the previous. So Lars, according to his friends, he looks fine. He wasn't too beat up. He wasn't eating too shaving. But he was saying that he was in a fight, and that the only thing that happened in this fight was he got a blow to the head, which gave him some deep pain. But Lars thought that these people in the bar were behind it, these Bayern fans, because he overheard them saying that it didn't cost very much money to get somebody beat or pulled an hour, and the Russians and the Bulgarians will pretty much do this for a little amount of money. I'm really sorry. So with this theism, anyway, the Lars had to sleep at the hotel at night and make everybody else did, and woke up at around noon the next day. And apparently he spoke on the phone to his girlfriend. Now, this is just something that I, I'm not sure if Lars does have a girlfriend. It's very hard to get information that's all in English on this case. Everything is just reported in German, so I am doing my best to try and relay correct information on this because like I said, it is quite hard. So Lars' girlfriend wanted him to go on medical treatment for his fear, but it was the Saturday and he didn't want to. He just assumed that all the doctors would be closed and he just wanted to get on with his holiday. So that night, Lars went back out again, no problems at all. Him and his friends had a really good time. He went to the doctors on Monday, the 7th of July. So noon, 7th of July, Lars and his friends had to check out from the hotel. Well, midday comes on and Lars gets a taxi with his friend to the doctors. And the doctor does diagnose him with a perforated eardrum, and then he refers Lars to St. Anna Hospital. So before Lars goes to the hospital, he goes back to the hotel to see his friend and for him to explain what's happened and what the plan will be from there. And Lars insists that everybody flies without him and he will stay back and all the covered on his insurance. So he will stay back and get his ether, agent fly more a later day, but he really didn't want his friends to stay up with him. So at 8 o'clock, a shuttle bus comes to pick his friends up from the hotel and take him to the airport, and Lars gets a taxi to the hospital. At 20 to 9 at night, Lars is examined by the ENT specialist at the hospital. But according to Lars, the doctor at the hospital mocked him and he wouldn't speak to him in English and in the language he understood or anything at all, and he was really upset by this. He did not like the doctor's attitude at all, but either way, he got his prescription, which was for 20 antibiotics called cefprozil 500. It does from saying that right, but it is CEFZIL 500. So at 20 to 10, the same taxi driver that took him to the hospital, took him to the pharmacy. So they went to the pharmacy, and at this pharmacy, they only had 10 tablets of Lars medication, and he was prescribed 20. So he had to go to a second pharmacy, which this taxi driver took him to as well, to pick up his medication. So after Lars got his medication, he asked the taxi driver to take him to a cheap hotel. Obviously, he was only staying the night. He was just waiting to get out the Twin the next day and go back home to Berlin. So he'd asked the taxi driver just to take him to any random cheap hotel, and they ended up at a hotel called Hotel Color. So Eliza's dropped off at Hotel Color at 10 past 10. Hotel Color was on a very bright side street. Lars got out of the taxi and noticed some shady characters outside of a shop opposite the hotel. But he just decided not to go out the shop, but just to go straight into the hotel, get his head down for the night, and just hopefully get out of Varna the next day as soon as possible. So Lars checks into the hotel and pays in his credit card. He noticed that things are a bit weird because the hotel receptionist scans his card, copies his information, which he doesn't like at all. He doesn't think this is normal. Personally, I think it is normal. I've seen it before, but Lars doesn't like this. He's like a paranoid about him. So at 11 o'clock, Lars calls his mother and asks her to top up his phone with credit, which is like a pay-as-you-go phone rather than a contract for. He doesn't pay this one monthly. He pays for it as and when he needs it. She did have a smartphone, which he did leave at home with her when he was duration of his holiday, just because he didn't want the pillow was there and he didn't want to be honest, or he just wanted to phone in case of emergencies. Like he could call home on and speak to people and just no phone stuff. He didn't want to be on social media or anything like that. So according to Lars's mother, who's called Sandra Mittank, she states that Lars had him his telephone call, that he had an argument in the bar a couple of days ago and he'd been hit in the ear. So because he'd been hit in the ear, he had to go to the doctors who prescribed him medication, and he basically told the story about why he was coming on late and about how the doctor had laughed at him and wouldn't speak to him in English. So he wanted his mother to call up his insurance and tell him what had happened so that he could have his insurance cover his travel home so he didn't have to pay for it. So Lars's mother registered this case with the Foreign Health Insurance, and she got the file case number, and then she ran Lars back to tell him. So when she ran back with the case number, Lars starts getting a bit upset on the phone. He said to his mother that she needed to cancel all his credit cards and he needed to get out of a hotel debt to pay. He said that there was something not right and something didn't feel right, and the fact that the copy of his credit card had upset him a lot, and that if she cancelled the card, he'd be able to reactivate it once he returned home. So Sandra ran the credit card company, and they told her that they could both it and they could stop any transactions on it from there on, but he wasn't able to reactivate it once he got home. So she ran Lars back and told him this, and Lars said, yeah, no, cancel it anywhere. It's all no problem. I just don't want to be stealing any money, just cancel my card. So I think by this point, and Sandra was getting a little bit worried because of Lars's behavior. He obviously panicked and not happy very well. So she went ahead and booked him a bus home for the next day. So Sandra booked him a bus home from Varna bus station at 8 p.m. that night. And she told him to sleep everything off and just to go upstairs, close his eyes, get up in the morning, get himself out, go straight to the bus station and just where to go home. So Lars calls Sandra back again after this, and he's really planning to, he said he has to get out of this hotel, that there's something wrong and he just has to leave. So Sandra is very, very worried. She doesn't know what's going on. So a little bit after this, Lars rings Sandra back and says that he's out of the hotel and he's talking really quietly, and he said that he's okay and that 4 minutes following him. That was at 2:30 in the morning. At 3:06 in the morning, He texted Andrew saying, cefprozil 500, what is that? Immediately referring to if antibiotics that he's been given. And Sandra didn't reply to this message. I'll try and call him because she was under the impression that he was being followed and she didn't want him to get any alerts to his phone that might and told people where he is or anything like that. So she just did not reply. But what she did do is she booked him a flight home as well. So he had two options to get the bus if his ear was too curly to fly, or to get a flight home the next day, as she was really starting to worry now. She's booked it at 4:20 p.m. from Varna Airport to Hamburg. So at 5 a.m., Lars was seen waiting a taxi down. This taxi already had a female customer inside, but they decided to pull over and give Lars a lift to the airport anyway. So Lars gets out of the taxi and enters Varna Airport. The taxi driver and the passenger allegedly said that Lars Mittank had dilated pupil. The Lars gets in the airport and he rings his mother again and he says that he needs some money and can she transfer it through something called Western Union. Now, I don't know what Western Union is, but apparently it's a way to transfer money. Lars also did not know about this transfer system, so he learned about this in the airport from somebody he was talking to. So he rings his mom and asks her to do this, and she never heard of it before either. So he tells her step by step of how to do it and explains what she needs to do and how they need to get the money from her bank to his through this Western Union thing. Now, I don't know how to write it. What I think about this is Lars's eyes were described as dilated in the taxi by the passenger and the taxi driver, but Lars is now in the airport and he's telling his mother something he's just learned himself in a very good way, and like he's explaining it properly and she knows what to do. So look, he doesn't think like he's confused or he's got brain damage or anything at all. That's what he's talking about. He's just had a conversation with a stranger who's told him how to use this Western Union service, and now Lars is on his own explaining it to his mother down the phone of how to use it. So to me, it doesn't seem like he is confused or on drugs or anything at all. And maybe his pupils are dilated because of lack of sleep or because he'd been running and being chased and he was a bit panicked and adrenaline and all them different things. So when he was on the phone, he also told Sammy that he felt there, he ended up dirty, so she told him to go out to the toilets to clean up and just let himself out, wash his face. Then whilst he was in there, she called him back and he answered, but it was just a murmur. And then the phone went dead. So she just thought that he was just getting washed by accident. So she wasn't too panicked. She was very happy that he was in the airport now anyway, and away from the hotel and away from like profound. So Sandra asked Lars, well, she was in the airport to go and see a health professional and just to get the definite okay that he could fly. So on the 7th of July at 9 a.m., Lars goes to see a doctor in the airport and he is examined and given ear drops. He had his temperature taken, which was normal at 37.2 degrees. The doctor actually wanted to give Lars medication, which he refused, but he did think it's okay to fly. All he would need to do was just find a way to say that he was okay flying or not. He took full responsibility of flying if anything did happen to him. So things here get a little bit unclear. Lars is being consulted by doctors and having a conversation, and then somebody apparently enters the room. Then Lars looks up and gets a little bit upset and panicked and just gets up and runs out. So that is one of the stories. Another story is that Lars has to go to the bathroom and just never returns. So the doctor actually gave 3 conflicting statements about who entered the room. At first he said it was an airport employee. And when this was looked into further on by an investigator, the person who the doctor had pointed out was the person who entered the room. And he wasn't even in the country at the time. He wasn't in Bulgaria, so that was a bit strange. Other doctors had done that. The doctor also said that the person who entered the room was an employee of the airline that Lars was traveling with, which was also a bit strange because it would have known on Larson's fair because Lars was flying at 4:20 that evening, and this was at 9 o'clock in the morning, which is like there's a loss of hours. There's no way that somebody was going to go looking for Lars that early. The third thing that was up to say was that he just didn't know who he was, let the room push him in and the room, and he just didn't know him. So the sad thing is that there's no cameras facing the top of this room or anywhere near it, so that we can't actually tell who walked in the room and who it was, or if anybody walked in the room at all. But there is footage of Lars running through the airport and and we're gonna pain here, right? I'm freaking yeah, man. 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 Pain here, right? Freaking yeah, pain here, right? Freaking yeah, pain here, right? After Sandra's seeing this video of Lars with injured their AirPods, she said that she felt relieved. She was upset, but she said that she was relieved because she could see that Lars knew what he was doing. So to me, that was weird because Lars looks like a headless chicken running, and he looks panicked and he looks upset, and then he just jumps over a fence and we never see him again. So I thought that that was a very strange thing for Sandra to say. But apparently, Sandra's in a very different video to what we've seen. So the video Sandra described that she saw was a video of Lars running onto the hotel room and then stopping in his back pocket, possibly found passport or wallet. Then he looks left and right, and to the right of him is Varna. So he doesn't want to go that way, so he looks left, and to the left of him he sees the police cars about 20 meters away, and the bus stop with a heaper stands behind it, probably for renovations from the airport and just old building material. A car park, and then behind the car park, a field and some woods, and then a hill that goes up in some houses on the hill. But according to Sandra, he walked slowly towards the police cars and stops about 5 meters away from them and crosses the road. And then he looks behind the bus, and the bus moves and laughs, then runs towards the pile of sand and disappears behind them. It looks like he's hiding, and then he climbs over the fence and runs off, and he's just never seen again. So, this was all at 11 a.m. But if this station exists, that Sandra's seen, or allegedly Sandra's seen, like Mike said, I don't have this confirmed in concrete, but this is apparently what Sandra is seeing. So if this is what Sandra is seeing, then it does show a different version of events. Shows Lars being a lot more calculated with his decisions than what we see. We kind of see like a headless chicken running through the airport, not knowing what's happening, not knowing what he's doing, just looking like he's trying to get away from someone, and he's frightened. What Sandra saw was first starting making decisions and looking around and making a new decision. That is why Sandra said she was relieved, because she could see that their son wasn't crazy and he wasn't losing his mind, and he was very much himself, and she knows this and a lot more than me too, so we started their word for it. And so this is the last time that Lars Mittank has ever been seen. There has been some unconfirmed sightings of Lars. A homeless man was said to look like Lars. There is a few theories, and one is that the medication has affected Lars' mentality. Personally, I don't think that this is the case. I think antibiotics, it's very hard to get a reaction like that from them. And they're very common, these antibiotics as well, so I don't think it's that. The theory that I think that it could be is that Lars was used a drug meal by these Russian, Bulgarian people who attacked him, and he was just nervous about getting on the fight. He didn't want to be, but was he pulled over for carrying drugs and water everything. So that could be a theory that I would be leaning mostly towards. So thank you for watching this video. It will be interesting to know what your thoughts are, so please leave some comments below. And remember that this is my first video. I mean, I'm very nervous. I'm so sorry that you can hear season. That